What would you do if someone betrayed you deeply, take revenge, or stay silent? Imagine if silence could become your greatest strength and your path to true freedom. Today, I'll share the story of a humble monk who was wronged by another, but instead of seeking revenge, he chose silence. This simple yet profound decision holds a timeless lesson about strength, patience, and the true meaning of peace. In the heart of the mist-covered mountains of ancient China stood a quiet monastery. Its stone walls were weathered by time, its courtyards swept clean by the gentle hands of monks who had long given up the ways of the world. Among them lived a humble monk named Liang, a man of peace, patience, and quiet strength. Liang was known not for grand teachings or fiery words, but for his calm presence. When he walked through the gardens at dawn, birds gathered near him. When he meditated beneath the old cherry tree, even the vine seemed to pause. But in every life, even in a place of serenity, trials come. One autumn day, a new monk arrived, Jin. Young, proud, and full of ambition, Jin was eager to prove himself. But he resented Liang's quiet respect among the other monks. In silent jealousy, Jin began to spread rumors, small lies at first, that Liang was lazy, that he secretly broke the monastery's vows. The whispers grew. Soon the master of the monastery summoned Liang and questioned his purity, his dedication. The elders frowned when they saw him. The young monks kept their distance. Liang knew who was behind this. He could have spoken, exposing Jin's envy and deceit. With a few words, he could have cleared his name. But he chose silence. For days, the false accusations hung in the air like heavy mist. Yet Liang went about his duties without complaint. He swept the courtyards. He tended the gardens. He meditated beneath the cherry tree as always. Finally, one evening, the truth revealed itself. Jin was caught in his own web of lies, his schemes unraveling before the elders. Ashamed, Jin fell to his knees before Liang, expecting anger or revenge. But Liang simply bowed and said, "Let the wine carry away the dust. What remains is clear. No anger. No punishment. Only peace." The monastery learned that day that true strength does not shout, nor does it strike back. It endures. It waits. It remains still until truth rises on its own, like the dawn after darkness. And Jin, humbled and changed, became Liang's most devoted student. Far away from the noise of cities and the restlessness of the world, the mountain monastery stood like a forgotten temple of time itself. The seasons moved slowly there, spring's blossoms opening like quiet secrets, summer's sun warming the stone floors, autumn's golden leaves falling without hurry. And in winter, the snow made every sound softer, every breath visible. Liang had lived here for many years. As a young man, he had come to this place full of questions about life, suffering, and meaning. But with time, those questions had faded, like ripples on a pond settling into stillness. Now, he simply lived, sweeping the temple paths, preparing tea for the elders, tending the small garden of herbs behind the eastern wall. His joy was simple. His life was quiet. But quiet lives are not always safe from turmoil. When Jin arrived, he brought with him the restless energy of youth. His sharp eyes noticed everything. His words were quick and clever. The other young monks admired him, drawn to his charm and confidence. Yet beneath his smile burned a quiet fire, pride, and the desire to be seen as great. To Jin, Liang's humble respect among the monks felt like a shadow he could not escape. How could the silent, gentle Liang earn such quiet honor, when Jin was so much more clever, so much more ambitious? And so, small seeds of mischief took root in Jin's heart. He whispered to others that Liang had been stealing extra food from the kitchen at night, that he slept instead of praying, that he broke the silence of meditation with secret complaints. The monastery was a place of still water, and even the smallest pebble caused ripples. Whispers turned into suspicion. Eyes once warm became distant. Bows from the other monks grew shallower. And still, Liang said nothing. One day, the master of the monastery summoned Liang. The air in the stone chamber was heavy. "Liang," the master said slowly, "It has reached my ears that you have broken your vows. What do you say in your defense?" Lion bowed deeply. "Master," he said softly, "the wind blows dust across the courtyard. If I speak, more dust will rise. If I remain silent, the dust will settle and the truth will be clear." The master frowned, unsatisfied, but said no more. Days passed. Jin watched Lion closely, waiting for anger, for defense, for argument, but none came. Lion swept the leaves. He poured tea. He smiled gently as he passed Jin in the corridors, as if no harm had been done. But within Jin's chest, the fire of pride turned to discomfort. Why was there no rage? No revenge? One night, as Jin crept to the kitchen to steal food, just as he had falsely accused Liang of doing, the master stood waiting in the shadows. The truth was revealed. Jin's lies spilled out like broken grains of rice. In the morning assembly, Jin knelt before Liang, trembling with shame. His voice shook. "Brother Liang, I wronged you. I spread falsehood. I deserve your anger, your punishment." But Liang gently helped him to his feet. "Brother Jin," he said kindly, "a pot of muddy water becomes clear when left undisturbed. Why should I stir the water with anger? The truth has settled. All is as it should be." The courtyard fell silent. Even the birds in the trees seemed to listen. From that day, Jin's heart changed. The fire of pride cooled. In its place, a quiet respect for Liang and for the path of patience took root. He became Liang's most attentive student, learning the wisdom of silence, the strength of peace. And the monastery learned this lesson too. That the greatest power is not to speak louder than your enemies, nor to strike harder than those who harm you, but to remain unmoved, untroubled, like the mountain beneath the sky. In the monastery, nothing went unnoticed, not even silence. As days passed after the accusations, the mood among the monks subtly shifted. Whispers softened but did not vanish. I still followed Liang in the dining hall, watching his every move. Some monks believed the rumors, their minds poisoned by doubt. Others, unsure, simply kept their distance, afraid to be caught in the quiet scandal. But Liang moved through these days as if untouched by the storm around him. At dawn, when the temple bell rang low and deep, he was the first to rise. He swept the courtyard in the pale light of morning, his broom brushing gently against fallen leaves and petals. He carried fresh water to the meditation hall. He tended to the old cherry tree behind the east wall, the tree that had blossomed faithfully for 50 years. When Liang sat beneath the tree to meditate, he could feel the weight of the monastery's suspicion pressing on him like the cold wind. And yet, he breathed. In, out. He allowed the breeze to pass over him like water over stone. Jin watched him from afar. Day after day, Jin expected something to break. A sharp word. A flash of anger. A bitter complaint. Anything. But none came. Liang's patience was a mystery too vast for Jin's restless mind to understand. At night, Jin lay awake in his small chamber, staring at the wooden beams above. Guilt began to gnaw at him. He heard the whispers of his own conscience louder than the silence he had forced upon Liang. Why doesn't he defend himself? Jin wondered. Why does he accept this shame? The truth was becoming clear, not to the monastery, but to Jin himself. One evening, as the moon hung high and bright, the master summoned Jin privately. "I know what you've done," the master said gently. "You thought the truth would remain hidden under the dust of lies. But truth, like the sun, cannot be covered forever." Jin fell to his knees, weeping, not out of fear of punishment, but from the weight of his own shame. "I wanted to be respected, like Brother Liang. But I have only dishonored myself." The master said nothing. He simply gestured toward the eastern courtyard, where Liang knelt, watering the garden under the starlight. "Go. Make right what you have broken." Jin stepped quietly across the stone path, heart pounding like distant thunder. As he approached, Liang looked up, not with anger, nor with sorrow, but with the same gentle peace as always. Brother Liang, Jin's voice broke. I have wronged you. I twisted truth into lies. I brought you shame and suffering. Please, punish me. Scold me. Anything. I deserve your anger. But Liang smiled softly and shook his head. Brother Jin, if I let anger rise within me, would I not become like the wind that scatters the dust? No. The dust has settled. The garden is clear again. And so is my heart. Jin fell silent. In that moment, the lesson pierced him deeper than any rebuke could have. From then on, Jin changed. He rose before dawn, working beside Liang in the garden. He swept the courtyard with careful hands. He learned to listen more than he spoke. Slowly, the restless fire in his heart cooled, becoming a steady flame of humility. The other monks noticed. Whispers faded. Smiles returned. The monastery breathed easily once more. In time, Jin became known not for cleverness or pride but for quiet service, for patience, for wisdom. And whenever new monks arrived, eager and full of ambition, he would lead them to the old cherry tree in the eastern courtyard. Here, he would say, Brother Liang taught me the greatest lesson, that silence in the face of injustice is not weakness, but strength. That peace is not the absence of conflict, but the victory over oneself. And so, long after Liang grew old and returned to the earth, his teaching lived on, not in books or scrolls, but in the humble actions of those who had once sought greatness and instead found wisdom. What can be learned from this quiet story of the monk who chose silence over revenge? In a world that often urges us to speak out, to defend, to strike back when wronged, Liang reminds us of a deeper strength, the strength of patience, of stillness, of letting the truth rise naturally, like the morning sun dissolving the mist. His silence was not weakness. It was not fear. It was wisdom. He understood that anger is like wind, it stirs the dust, clouds the vision, and keeps the heart restless. But when the wind is still, the dust settles, and the truth becomes clear on its own. How many times in life are we tempted to respond in anger, to argue, to prove ourselves right? And yet, what if the greatest power lies not in fighting the storm, but in being the mountain that endures it? Liang's choice teaches us that peace within cannot be shaken by the storms outside. That revenge may win battles, but patience wins freedom. And Jin's change of heart reminds us that even those who do wrong are not beyond redemption. A single act of silent forgiveness can awaken the deepest transformation in another soul. So when you face injustice, misunderstanding, or betrayal, pause. Breathe. Let the dust settle. The truth will find its way, as it always does. And in that quiet space, you may discover something greater than victory, you may discover peace. Choosing silence over revenge. The story of the Buddha himself, Siddhartha Gautama. When insulted by an angry man who hurled harsh words at him, the Buddha calmly responded. If someone offers you a gift and you do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong? His point, insults not accepted stay with the giver. This moment reflects the same deep strength in silence and inner mastery, rather than reaction. The story of Jesus Christ before Pontius Pilate. When questioned and accused unjustly before his crucifixion, Jesus remained largely silent, choosing not to defend or argue his innocence. His silence was not defeat, it was a profound submission to higher purpose, a divine acceptance that spoke louder than words. The story of Mahatma Gandhi. Throughout his life, Gandhi practiced non-violence and passive resistance even when beaten, arrested, and humiliated. His silence and peaceful endurance changed the course of India's history and inspired the world. As he once said, in the attitude of silence the soul finds the path in a clearer light. The story of Nelson Mandela. After 27 years of wrongful imprisonment, Mandela emerged without anger or thirst for revenge. Instead of retaliation, he chose reconciliation and peace, guiding South Africa away from civil war. His patience and forgiveness became a symbol of moral greatness. The story of Zen master Hakuin. Falsely accused of fathering a child by a local girl, Hakuin simply responded, "Is that so?" and took care of the child without protest. Later, when the truth came out, the family apologized, and Hakuin calmly returned the child, his peace undisturbed. His silence and acceptance revealed the ultimate freedom from ego. This story teaches us a gentle but powerful truth: you don't always need to fight to prove you are right. Sometimes, silence is the greatest strength. In Buddhism and Zen, we learn that clinging to anger or the need for revenge only disturbs our own peace. Like muddy water that gets stirred, the more we react with frustration or words, the more clouded the situation becomes. But when we stay still, like Liang did, the dust naturally settles, and the truth becomes clear by itself. In daily life, we often face misunderstandings, unfair criticism, or betrayal. Someone may speak badly of you behind your back. A friend may wrongly blame you. Your efforts might go unnoticed or misjudged. The mind immediately wants to react, to argue, defend, explain. But ask yourself, will speaking now bring true peace? Or will silence let the truth reveal itself in time? Just like the monk, you can choose patience. You can wait, breathe, and let time unfold the truth. This not only protects your inner peace but also teaches others the quiet power of restraint. And often, as in the story, those who wrong us realize their mistake, not because we force them to, but because our calmness holds up a mirror to their actions. This is the way of Zen. To respond not with anger, but with understanding. To act not with force, but with quiet strength. To win not by fighting but by not fighting at all. And in this, we find freedom. So, how can you bring this wisdom into your own life? Start small. The next time someone misunderstands you, criticizes you unfairly, or spreads rumors, pause. Take a slow, mindful breath before reacting. Ask yourself, is this worth disturbing my peace? Or can I let the truth reveal itself in time, just like the dust settling in still water? When arguments rise at work, at home, or even online, practice silent patience. Listen more than you speak. Sometimes, by not defending yourself immediately, you allow others to see the truth more clearly without forcing it. If someone offends you, remember, their anger belongs to them, not you. Like the Buddha taught, if you don't accept their anger, it stays with them. Each time you choose calm over conflict, patience over pride, and silence over shouting, you strengthen your inner peace. You become like the mountain that is not shaken by the storm. It may not be easy. But with every quiet act of restraint, you are walking the path of wisdom, just like Liang. Try this practice today. See how your heart feels when you let small conflicts pass without holding on. You may find life becomes lighter, clearer, more joyful. Remember this, dear friend. True strength is not in loud words or quick anger but in quiet patience and steady peace. Like the mountain that does not move in the wind, you can remain calm in the face of life's storms. When you choose silence over conflict, patience over pride, you create space for truth, healing, and joy to arise naturally. May your heart be light, your mind clear, and your spirit untroubled. Carry this calm into your day and watch as the world begins to change, not because you forced it, but because you chose peace. If this story touched your heart and reminded you of the quiet strength within, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who may need this gentle reminder today. And in the comments below, tell us, how do you practice patience and inner peace in your life? Your words may inspire someone else on their journey. Stay mindful. Stay peaceful. And thank you for being here. Silence is the ultimate weapon of power. Lao Tzu.